Today I'm going to teach you 4 different ways to cut tile. Hey everyone, it's Kody with Up to Code. This is part of my tile tip series that I have going on. This is video 2, and today we're just going to show you all the different methods on how to cut tile, budget levels and things like that, capabilities of each cutting device. So we're going to start off with the grinder. Now, guard's missing. I honestly just bought this thing. I don't know where the guard is, but hey, who needs them? You just throw them in the garbage? Who needs one, right? No, but seriously, you probably should have a guard. Yeah, so don't follow my direction at all times. Let's keep that in mind. So a grinder is your lowest budget way of cutting tile. You need a carbide tip or a carbide blade. So this is a smooth blade, and it literally has just tiny, tiny chunks of carbide on it. That's basically as hard as diamond, and it'll cut porcelain tile, ceramic tile, natural stone, anything. So if you were on a super ultra low budget, you had no cash to invest for tools, you had a grinder and a wheel, you could tile a whole project with that. The downside is that it's dusty, it's noisy, it's less accurate, more likely to chip your tiles. But what's nice about a grinder when you're doing tile jobs is that you can cut out a full circle out of one tile. Like you could cut, we've had to do it with a toilet flange where you got to cut it out. So you would flip your tile over and just cut in a circle until the face pops open. You can also cut receptacles out for a backsplash with a grinder. So you would literally just go zing, 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 and then cut it that way. It would be overcut on the back, but cut perfectly on the front. So that's how you would use a grinder for. Like I said, you could do a whole tile job with it. I personally wouldn't. We're lucky to have all of these tools, but like I said, lowest budget, super versatile. Now the next one is a wet saw. This is probably the most versatile tool. It's mid-budget level, I would say. Most people could probably afford it. You can pretty much do anything with it. The only thing you can't do is cut a full circle or a full square out of a tile. But what's nice about these is it's a wet saw. It doesn't make that much of a mess. If you sit in front of this blade spins forward. So if you're sitting directly in front of it, you're gonna get wet. Actually, we have a picture of Luke on our crew where he had it set up on sawhorses and he had like a rag dangling from his neck, and that's what he used. So the water just hit the rag. It was pretty funny. So yeah, so you can cut straight cuts. You can cut an L shape out of a tile. Sometimes if you have, let's say, like a half of a toilet flange. So let's say you're cutting half a circle, you just make a whole bunch of cuts like this and then chip those out. So you can do that on one of these saws. They're good for taper cuts. You could do a whole tile job just with this one. It's better than a grinder, a little more money, but it would definitely do everything you need it to do. When I first started, before I actually started my apprenticeship, I had a tile fall off in my shower, and I literally had no idea how you would cut tile, zero idea. And now we have lots of ideas. So this is a dry saw or a scribe saw. It's backwards to you guys. I don't know if it's backwards to them. Rudy's filming and he's been doing a lot of our tile. Rude, is this a better view?
Yeah, that's the way I would face it.
Right, so for your guys' point of view, this is how you'd be using it. So this dry saw is the most expensive, super quiet, ultra precise. You can cut tapers with it. It's a little harder. It's mostly for just really fast square cuts, but you can cut a taper with it. Gives a nice clean edge. You can literally, this is a Monolith brand, which we found to be superb. This one can actually cut like a 3-foot long tile, and you just scorch and break it. So let me show you that. Yeah, so when you're cutting with these, basically this just has a little carbide wheel. And it breaks that off. or here's the other piece. It doesn't cut the great, this specific tile doesn't cut super nice, but you can see how fast it is. Doesn't make any noise, you don't get wet. The drawback to one of these saws is that you can't cut an L shape out of it. It's just for long parallel or taper cuts. You can't cut L's, you can't cut circles, you can't do anything. So every cutting device has its pros and cons, and that's what the video is about. Now, if you're obviously going to need to cut a hole out of something at some point in time, usually around a tub spout or a shower head spout. If you're on a budget, I would just say buy a 7/8 or 1-inch hole saw, and it should work for everything you need. Your shower valve that's in your shower, you should be able to cut with the wet saw or the grinder. But for little holes, what you would do, you can use them dry or wet. And typically, there's two ways to use these. You can start like this. So you would start on an angle, and then you would just tip it up so that it goes square with the world. Just do this. So that's the technique for using one of these. Now the other thing you can do is you can actually, if you're too worried about wrecking a tile or doing that technique, you can take a piece or a scrap piece of plywood, drill the same hole in it, then put that plywood down, put some weight on it or clamp it, then you could drill straight through. Like I said, it can be used dry or wet. So that's cutting tiles in a nutshell. That should give you all the information you need. Now guys, in the description of the video, if you go there, the best way to support the channel, if you like the content, I know some of you followers do, and if you're new to the channel, the best way to support us is you'll find affiliate links in the description of this video. Actually, all videos on the channel. You're gonna be buying stuff from Amazon anyway. If you wanna help us out, go through one of those links and buy something totally random that you would buy. It doesn't have to be anything that's listed in the description. We have tools in there. Buy anything, we get a couple % kickback from Amazon. That's how you support us. So yeah, it takes time and money to produce these videos, but I appreciate all you guys following, and let me know what you thought of the content. See you next time. Hey everyone, today I'm gonna teach you 4 different ways. 4 ways to cut tile? God, when I get caught up like that. 4 ways to cut tile, does that sound right?
Yeah.
4 ways to cut tile. 4 different ways?
4 different ways to cut tile.
Okay.